Well, Eldorados, as you know, my channel has been demonetized by YouTube. To keep getting the Great Eldersky unedited, uncensored, and on demand, just go to Epoch, EPOCH.TV.com. Well, a popular LAPD officer has written a letter to LeBron James, urging Mr. James to come on in for a sit down. Maybe you can learn a little bit about what life is like from our side. Now, when it comes to basketball, LeBron James is brilliant. When it comes to matters of police and their relationship with the black community, the man is clueless, but he claims he speaks from an educated mind.
I speak from a very educated mind. I'm kind of the wrong guy to actually go at because I do my homework.
Now, of course, it doesn't help when Kerosene Maxine throws, well, kerosene on the issue.
But the police, I think, really believe, and in some ways are led to believe, that their greatest challenge and their greatest chore is to keep, black people in their place.
Well, as you know, remarks like that contribute to what is called the Ferguson effect. Crime goes up. It also contributes to the disrespect, the growing disrespect that people have for cops. Consider what this gentleman did to this NYPD detective in broad daylight.
New tonight, a brazen attack on an NYPD detective. It was caught on camera. Video here showing a man walk up to the detective and then hit him in the head with a stick. This happened just before noon today while the detective investigated a burglary on Prince Street in Flushing, Queens. Police arrested 25-year-old Akil Morgan. He now faces multiple charges, including assault on a police officer.
What happened? And that was just one of the most recent attacks on NYPD cops.
New tonight, outrage among NYPD union leaders and the mayor after NYPD officers were doused with buckets of water during an arrest. One large bucket even hit one of the officers in the head.
Now, the NYPD is focusing their attention on violent protesters over the past few weeks. They've released numerous videos of looters and suspects who attacked officers.
New York's top cop, Commissioner Dermot Shea, is apologizing for the NYPD's role in racial bias incidents, but he says attacks against his officers won't be tolerated, and we have seen quite a few of those this week.
We're told police shot the suspect, who is now in critical condition, police calling it an ambush.
It all happened just before midnight near Church and Flatbush Avenues. Eyewitness News reporter Candace McCowan is live in Flatbush with the latest. Candace.
Yeah, Ken, Charlene, we should start this by saying that those 3 officers who were injured, they're at the hospital, but they are expected to survive. NYPD saying that they are going through body camera footage right now as they try and get to the bottom of exactly what happened here. I'll show you the scene. There's still several streets here around Church and Flatbush that are still blocked off. But this were some obviously chaotic moments, leaving those 3 officers injured. Now, here's what we know right now. 11:45 last night, 2 officers who were on an anti-looting patrol here at Church and Flatbush. That is when they say a man walked up. This is caught on security footage. Unprovoked, stabbed one of those officers in the left side of his neck. And seconds later, officers nearby, they heard gunshots and ran towards the scene.
Elder here for Birch Gold. As one of the top dealers of physical precious metals in the United States, Birch Gold Group helps Americans diversify their savings with gold and silver. Customers can purchase for physical possession or convert a portion of their IRA or 401k into an IRA backed by physical precious metals. And for the first time since Obama's first term, we are facing a democratically controlled White House, Senate, and House. Sounds like a lot of tax and spending to me. Get ready for more so-called quantitative easing. Now, how does that affect your investment? How does that affect the strength of your portfolio? So, contact Birch Gold Group to request a free info kit on physical precious metals. See if diversifying into gold makes sense for you. This comprehensive 20-page kit reveals how gold and silver can protect your savings and how you can legally move your IRA or 401k out of risky stocks and bonds into a precious metals IRA. To get your no-cost, no-obligation kit, text Larry to 474747. That's text Larry to 474747. And for a limited time, see how you can qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals on your purchase. Text Larry to 474747. Text Larry to 474747 because we've got a country to save. And attacks like that are causing a lot of cops around the country to go, wait a second, I put in my 20. I haven't been sued, shot, or divorced. Maybe I'll just say to hell with it.
All right, rising crime rates and anti-cop sentiment taking its toll in New York City and the police overall. New data shows that more than 5,300 NYPD officers either retired or announced plans to leave the department last year, a staggering 75% increase over 2019. Here to react is the president of the New York Sergeants Benevolent Association, Ed Mullins. Ed, the number stunned me. It's happening across the country. Did it stun you?
It doesn't surprise me. The truth of the matter is that the members of the NYPD no longer want to work under Mayor de Blasio or this city council with Corey Johnson or the failed leadership of the NYPD. We are receiving no backing at all. And we go to work every day as the bad guy to the people of the city of New York. And that's pretty sad because the truth of the matter is we're the good people. We're the ones that are helping. And we're also the ones that are saving Black lives, contrary to what this whole narrative has developed as a result of the incident up in Minnesota.
So your budget got cut 14.8%. You got rid of the anti-crime unit. That was your way of knowing where the surges were happening and what was going on the ground. So you've lost that. And now you lost qualified immunity. What does that mean to you guys and the ladies?
Well, what it means is, Brian, this weekend so far, we've had 27 shootings in the city of New York. And people like de Blasio and Corey Johnson, who've implemented these policies, they can't be sued for this. They're protected under qualified immunity. But an NYPD officer who is presumed to be guilty could pretty much be sued and lose personal assets, his house, money's in the bank. And it's already happened to a member of my organization, prior to this being changed. So, right. This is what we're dealing with. I mean, surgeons are working as we speak, and they will lose multiple bodies today and across the country. And, they will be sued, and they're paying high insurance for it. But at the end of the day, none of them are being charged with murder.
I know.
And NYPD cops and cops across the country are getting criminally charged for trying to do what's right.
Philadelphia police are having trouble finding new recruits to join the force, even as officials say the department is severely understaffed. Action News reporter Walter Perez joins us with a closer look at what's causing the shortage. Walter.
Well, Rick and Christy, it's a big issue that, at least on the surface, looks like it's going to get worse before it gets better. Local FOP President John McNesby says it's kind of like a perfect storm developing. The eye of the storm revolving around several issues, including a dramatic rise in the number of Philadelphia police officers filing for retirement, a diminishing pool of young people who even want to be a big city cop, and the suspension of new officer training because of the pandemic.
Do you remember that horrific attack when 5 Dallas cops were killed execution style? And the Dallas police chief said, hey, be part of the solution. We're hiring. Join us.
I'm the kind of person that I probably wouldn't protest or complain. I'd get involved and do something about it by becoming part of the solution. And that's still in me. That keeps me going. That I get so much satisfaction that I can do a small thing to help this community. I just love Dallas. And I love serving. It's part of my character. It's part of who I am. I get all the crap we got to take as police officers. The satisfaction you get with serving, much more gratifying. Much more gratifying. And it's like that for a lot of police officers in this country.
And what advice would you give to young Black men today to overcome their fear?
Become a part of the solution. Serve your communities. Don't be a part of the problem. We're hiring. We're hiring. Get off that protest line and put an application in. And we'll put you in your neighborhood, and we will help you resolve some of the problems you're protesting about.
And as far as Mr. James is concerned, just how much credibility does he have? After all, you remember his allegation that he was a victim of a hate crime?
The LA home of basketball star LeBron James was vandalized overnight. Now, police say it was a hate crime. KCON9's Dave Lopez live in Brentwood. He's got new details on that investigation. Dave, what's going on?
Well, Sandra, we're on Rockingham Drive. If that sounds familiar, that's where O.J. lived. But we're in the South Rockingham. North Rockingham is where O.J. lived across Sunset. But behind me is the I guess you would call it the summer home of LeBron James. Very few people even knew that he had a home here. He paid $20 million for this a few years ago. It's just under 10,000 square feet. And what you're looking at is the gate to the entryway. And that is the gate that we are told that was vandalized, if you will. It was spray painted with the N-word. We are told that it was quite large and it almost went the extension of the gate. The man who was in charge of keeping security here for Mr. LeBron James painted over it before police even got here, before 7 o'clock this morning, but he took a picture. So police arrived, there was no damage whatsoever, and he said, here's the photo of what I painted over. And that will probably become part of a public record, but not until tomorrow. We can just tell you, because of what the police told us, that it is the N-word, and because of that, it is a hate crime.
I think the case has been closed. Now, here is what the officer wrote to LeBron James. Dion Joseph said, "Dear LeBron, I'm not going to come at you from a place of hatred. There will be no name calling. I was raised to see the whole of a human being, not to hyper-focus on their flaws or make said flaws the whole of who they are. I am an honest man." So far, so good. What you do for children and other acts of charity shows a huge heart. You show to be a family man, and that's to be respected. How many times have I said if LeBron James really wanted to make a contribution, a huge contribution, he should talk about the importance of family. He was raised without a father. His mom heroically raised him by herself. LeBron has broken that chain. He's married the mother of his children. No scandal, but I've never heard him say the number one problem facing Black America is the fact that 70% of kids are raised into this world without a father. Not a word. Back to the letter. You play for the team my family has cheered for since the 1960s, and then myself since 1979. But your current stance on policing is so off base and extreme. Just a little. Your tweet that targeted a police officer in Ohio who saved a young woman's life was irresponsible and disturbing. It showed a complete lack of understanding of the challenge of our job in the heat of a moment. You basically put a target on the back of a human being who had to make a split-second decision to save a life from a deadly attack. He's referring to what happened in Columbus, Ohio.
Columbus Mayor Andrew Ginther reportedly says the officer took action to protect another girl in the community who was being threatened.
You can look at that video one of two ways. That was a police officer saving the life of a young Black woman.
A decision I know that he and many others wish they never had to make, especially when it involves someone so young. Instead of apologizing, you deflected. You said you took your tweet down because you did not want it to be used for hate, when the tweet itself was the embodiment of hatred, rooted in a lack of understanding of the danger of the situation. I mean, a cop even made a joke out of LeBron James's attack on this heroic officer.
Dispatch, I've arrived at that disturbance. Will you have LeBron call my cell phone right away, please? Thank you. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. No, can you put the knife down, please, sir? Sir, no, sir, don't stab it. No, stop stabbing. Stop. Oh, hold on. It's LeBron. LeBron, hey, yeah, it's me again. Listen, I'm out here at this disturbance call, and there's a guy trying to stab another guy with a knife. What do you think I should do? Why does that matter? Okay, well, they're both Black. One guy's trying to stab another guy with a knife. Deadly force is completely justified. Uh-huh. I see. So you don't care if a Black person kills another Black person, but you do care if a white cop kills a Black person, even if he's doing it to save the life of another Black person? I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but then again, you are really good at basketball, so I guess I'll take your word for it. All right. Yep. Okay. All right. Thanks, LeBron. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. What? Nothing. I gotta go. Sorry, guys. You're on your own. Good luck.
Deon Joseph, the LAPD cop, continues. I don't know if this will ever reach you, but my hope is that one day I can sit down with you and talk. As a man of faith, I can have no hatred towards you, but I do feel I can help you understand the reality of the profession of policing and that there is another side you need to hear. You know, like the Ferguson effect. You are tired of black folks dying? So am I. You hate racism and police brutality? So do I. But you cannot paint 800,000 men and women who are of all races, faiths, sexual orientations, and are also mothers, fathers, sons, daughters, preachers, coaches, community members, and just human with such a broad and destructive brush. In other words, don't profile cops. Unlike some who have dug their heels in the belief that the police are inherently evil, I think if you yourself actually sat down and had a real, honest, and open conversation with a cop, there is a strong chance you may discover we are not the monsters you have come to believe we are, who deserve the hate and disdain you have, and that people like Maxine Waters have.
That their greatest challenge and their greatest chore is to keep black people in their place.
And Mr. Joseph ends his letter this way. And even if you come away feeling the same way, I could respect it, because at least you gave the other side your ear instead of only hearing one narrative. The offer is on the table, LeBron. No cameras, no fanfare, just two men who care talking. I know it's a long shot, but this division and hatred must stop. It is clear, based on rising crime in marginalized communities, that cops and the community need to build bridges to save lives on all sides. That cannot be done through the demonization of any group of people. Just putting it out in the universe, brother. Even if not me, please take the time to talk to a police officer instead of judging them. No shade. Thanks for all the positive things you do. Signed, Deon Joseph, an LAPD officer. Mr. James, your move.
I'm waiting!
I'm Larry Elder, and we've got a country to save. I'll see you next time. As you know, we have been demonetized by YouTube, which means we must be doing something right. To continue to get me unedited, uninterrupted, on demand, uncensored, go to Epoch, EPOCHTV.com, EpochTV.com, because we've got a country to save, and I'll see you next time.